Hello everybody, today is Monday, December 2nd, 2024 and SMCI is up 30% right now in just one day. Title of the video is Glad I Did Not Sell. As you know, SMCI is a position for me. I took it after the whole debacle and the whole short momentum that happened. You may remember there was a CEO letter response in August in which the CEO claimed that there was no fraud, and that CEO letter was released in response to a short seller who had alleged fraud. And so it's been a roller coaster for the past 2 months, even 3 months by now. You may remember this video from weeks ago where the CEO had said once again that there was no fraud and they had established a audit committee, but he had said that right now there is no evidence of fraud and misconduct on part of management. So that's the second time. 2 weeks ago, he said that for the second time at the Q1 2025 update. 3 months ago, he said that for the first time in the August letter. Today, it is the third time that we hear from an independent committee that the probe is now finished and finds no accounting wrongdoing. So that's the third time that this company tells the market that there is no fraud. It's when you have somebody who takes a short position and they're well advertised and they make these claims, it takes a lot of defense on the part of SMCI, and they keep defending themselves. So today, December 2nd, what do we hear? That the special committee, which includes a special counsel, Cooley LLP, and also a forensic accounting firm, finds no evidence of misconduct on the part of management, no restatement of reported financials expected. Now, this is something that the CEO had already said in the letter in August, that there would be no restatement of the financials. And I remember reading some of the comments section on my few video on SMCI saying, oh, they lied on revenue. What if the revenue's wrong? What if they lied on that? Well, I guess they didn't, because now they are telling us for the third time that no restatement of financials are expected. And there were issues with rehiring certain employees, etc. So the special committee has recommended 2 actions, which is naming a new CEO and a CFO and a new chief accounting officers because of the hierarchical responsibility of some of the rehiring. But in my view, I mean, don't get me wrong. The stock's up 30% today. It could be down 20% 2 weeks from now because I don't know, the short seller doubles down or something like that. It's just a very volatile stock. But at the end of the day, how many times does this company have to tell us that nothing is wrong? How many times? It's all about whether the market believes it or not. I suppose I believe in the fiduciary duty. And the fact that the CEO says it's good is good enough for me, because I believe the CEO has a fiduciary duty. Don't forget that Charles Young, the CEO of this company is his life's entire work. He founded this company in the early 90s. It's his baby. And the CEO Charles Young, if you actually research him, he's a very mission-driven guy. There's a whole reason as to why liquid cooling is shaping up to be a major opportunity for SMCI. He's been pushing liquid cooling for almost a decade. He's got this very odd, I'm gonna say, or strange marketing in the thing, talking about green energy and saving the trees and saving the planets with liquid cooling. He's the liquid cooling guy. So that's his life's work. 3 times in a row, he tells us there's nothing going on. And even if there was actually something going on, there's an investigation, there's a justice system, there's a fine. That was my argument a few weeks back and a few months back. Even if there is something going on, you restate, you pay a fine, and you move on. This is a company with maybe a $100 billion opportunity down the road as far as the sales go. Like, this is a major company with a major opportunity in one of the hottest sectors out there. And so again, if there is an issue, there would be a fine. But I'm glad, I'm just reading this, right? no restatement of financials expected, no evidence of misconduct. So now I'm firmly in the green because I was in at the mid 30s. I'm firmly in the green. It's 0.4% of my portfolio, and I'm very happy about that. And let's move on and let's talk about the stock itself. So the stock is a volatility machine. And the question is how much of that volatility comes with the news and all of the negative news associated and all of the financial actors shorting and then going long on the stock. But it's a volatility machine. It's very active in the options market. It's not quite like an MSTR, but it's pretty much up there. And this helps explain, in my view, some of the swings in the stock price. Very volatile company. My SMCI position, on the other hand, though, is not a trade. It's for the long run, and now that I'm empowered with knowing that there's no financial restatement, it's definitely being kept for the long run. But here's the valuation. So at $42, if you look at the valuation, I ask the question on this channel, how much am I paying for that growth? What's the cost of future growth? So enterprise value over gross profit over revenue growth. This asks the question. I'm at a 0.2 in a sector with nosebleed valuations, and keep in mind this is NVIDIA. I actually consider NVIDIA to not be the most undervalued AI stock out there. Like if I look at my valuation, AMD is much more richly valued than NVIDIA if I look at my valuation, but SMCI. Not only is it the cheapest AI hardware company that I can find, not only that, but it's also one of the cheapest companies that I find, period, in my spreadsheet. And by the way, it's a rule of 71. So they blow past the rule of 40, right? So not quite as much as NVIDIA, but they do quite exceed that rule of 40. But when I look at SMCI, you see they hold their own next to stocks like, for example, Elf or Celsius, which are very cheap stocks right now, or Oddity, a stock I'm big on in the digital beauty space, or HIMS, even HIMS. I mean, granted, of course, HIMS is going to be cheaper. HIMS is the cheapest of the cheap. But given that the sector is AI, that's the hottest sector right now, I'm at a 0.20. HIMS is at a 0.11. We can understand that the delta is not that high. It's not that big of a difference between these two because, like I said, it's AI hardware. This is literally the hottest sector right now, and it's trading at 0.2. So do I find the stock still cheap? Yes, I do. I think there's still a lot of fuel going on in this company. No financial advice. I'm happy with my position. It's a very volatile stock, so I'm not interested in adding after it's up 30%. But who knows, like I said, within a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe there will be someone who doubles down and says, oh, actually, the three different independent pieces of news that says there's no accounting manipulation. Actually, I believe there is this happening, and then you have a news article that comes out and then the stock drops 20% again. Why would that happen? Because it's a volatility machine. This stock is so sensitive to any piece of news, and so in my view, it's an opportunistic play. I'm not touching it right now, but it's an opportunistic play. I'm happy with my position. The stock, though, it's a stock that I own for the long run. Why do I own it for the long run? It's very simple. I've said that seconds ago, but it's because of liquid cooling. It's the liquid cooling king. You may remember back in June, OpenAI opened its grand Memphis XAI, not OpenAI. XAI opened their XAI supercomputer, enormous facility. Who were the partners to deploy the GPUs, the NVIDIA GPUs? Well, the partners were 50-50 Dell and SMCI. The problem is that when you buy Dell, you gotta buy the old company, the bloated company. You have to buy it with the high growth division. With SMCI, you get nearly a pure play high growth division. My thesis on SMCI, like I said, is very simple. It's liquid cooling. Why liquid cooling? Because liquid cooling reduces the space used in the data center by 80%. So you can put more GPUs, you can put more compute in the same footprint. You don't have to build a new data center. You don't have to expand. You don't have to get the permits. You don't have to do any of that because you just reduce the space used. There's just less space used with liquid cooling tech compared to Fans. Fans are the going out technology of cooling. And then point number 2, it reduces power by 40%. So it uses less power. So you save money on the power, which is, one of the big quests right now in AI, is trying to look for more power. And you save money on the real estate because you save a bunch of space and you can put more stuff in that. And of course, we know that NVIDIA's Blackwell, which is coming in the first half of 2025, will need liquid cooling. It will be all about liquid cooling. It's the next gen of a data center is going to be liquid cooled. Again, it's easier to liquid cool a data center than it is to, say, increase the size of a building or build a new transformer, build new power lines, because you got to increase the power. And the CEO in the August letter, he claimed that they have something like a 75% market share in the professional data center space for liquid cooling. And we have to see how that share is going to evolve. My guess is that share is going to go down because every company in the space is getting into it. But this is a very inexpensive stock in my view. And if all 3 separate letters are to be believed, we should put this accounting thing behind us. My thesis that I had written, liquid cooling is coming, is it a buy? Analyzing NVIDIA's friend, where I go in depth. I feel like I kind of feel like a reporter on this one. I go in depth as to a relationship between SMCI and NVIDIA, calling them a friend, and I explain how they are literally 10 minutes away from the street from each other. Much of the content of the analysis of this stock in that video is still valid, and so is the price roughly, because it's now back up. And so if you want to know more about my thesis for SMCI, please watch this video. Thank you so much for watching. This was not investment advice, not financial advice. This is just entertainment. Hoping you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.